Hey everybody. Hey everybody. It's me, Throwback Flyersguy, and welcome to this edition of Throwback Flyersguy. I'm your host, Throwback Flyersguy. I want to talk about one of my first surgeries. Technically, it was my first ever surgery back in. I think I told the story already. I think I already told this one, but my name is Throwback Flyersguy, and I'm gonna talk about I want to take you back. I'm probably gonna do a few videos about certain flyer seasons, but I want to take you back to the 05-06 Philadelphia Flyer season. And I want to talk about what happened to me after that as well. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 05-06 Flyers. And I'm also going to be talking about the summer of 06 on here as well. My summer of 06. A lot happened in 06. I'll be talking about it. So it was the 05-06 Flyer season. Philadelphia Flyers had a lot of promise that year. Peter Forsberg had his first year in Philly, along with Mike Knuble, Mike Rafsky, and Darian Hatcher. Sorry about the noise in the background. Somebody's riding around in their car, and it's a lot of noise. So it was 05-06, and I remember that season Flyers lost the first game to the New York Rangers, and I remember going to the second game against the Devils. I think that was like on a Saturday. Flyers got a big victory against the Devils, and from there on it went pretty well. And then I still remember the crazy game they had with the Penguins, where it was like 5-5 going into the third period, where Tennamaki was looking up at the screen at one of the goals the Flyers scored, not knowing that Max Talbot scored a goal on him. He didn't even see it go in. And the game was officially tied 5-5. Flyers did get the victory. Mike Rafsky got the goal from the Flyers in overtime. And I also remember some other games too. First time Mike Richards dropped the gloves. He dropped the gloves with Aaron Ashland. Didn't really go well, but it was a good scrap between the two. And then we go into a game against the Islanders. Brashear gets into a fight, gets cut over the eye. Still manages to win the fight. Flyers get the 5-3 victory over Toronto. Over the I think it was a 5-2 victory. And I also remember that game against the Florida Panthers, where the Flyers had to come from behind to get the victory in overtime. I think it was Gagne who got the OT victory and picking it, I forget. But I remember going to that game with my dad, and just remember how Florida was they were just peppering at it. They were taking it to the Flyers. The Flyers were like, nope, we're going to come back, we're going to win, we're going to get the victory. And then I remember the second meeting with Florida, where the game was tied in the third period, and Mike Knuble gets a goal, a little bit of time left in the third. And it's a buzzer beater, basically. A buzzer beater. He gets the goal. And then we go into the month of, after Christmas. Flyers are playing some pretty good hockey before the Olympic break. Going to the Olympic break, Gagne gets a knee injury in the Olympics. He comes back. In January, the month of January for the Flyers, I forget what month it was. I think it was definitely before the Olympic breaks in January, and right after that we were on break for a while. Flyers hockey was on break, so I decided to watch the Philadelphia Phantoms games that year. And this was the year after the Phantoms on the Calder Cup. Added a few new people to the team. I remember going to that one game. I think it was against the Valen Senators, where they honored the Calder Cup winning team. We still had a lot of guys on that team. Still had Riley Cote. We saw a lot of other people too. And 0506 was a strange year for the Philadelphia Flyers. And the reason I want to talk about this one first is because I'm not doing them in order. So my next Throwback Flyersguy video will be about will most likely be about the 0708 Flyers. Or maybe 0304 Flyers. I like talking about that, but so the month of January was hectic for the Flyers. They lost some games, they won some games. February, they lost some games, won some games. Going to March, same thing. In April, they had some must-win games coming up. They beat the Devils and lost to the Devils. And then a game against the Rangers. And I went to that game. It was in April. And I remember the Flyers getting that victory in the game and just almost clinching a playoff spot. And they beat the Islanders, I think, last game of the season going into the playoffs where they faced off against a very good Buffalo Sabres team. Danny Briere Buffalo Sabres team. And I remember meeting with the Sabres and Flyers that played. Both teams could score goals. Eventually Buffalo was able to get the last goal and beat the Flyers in that game. And we fast forward to April of 06, where the Flyers faced off against the Buffalo Sabres. Now, game one was a very exciting game. Flyers and Sabres were competing. It was a very, 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 very close game. Buffalo got the victory in overtime, I think. Danny Briere got the goal for the Sabres in that game. And then we go into game two, and game two was an absolute shellacking. Flyers got absolutely embarrassed in that game, and there were a lot of fights. There was a lot of frustration shown by the Flyers in game two. And then I remember I'm not sure if I went to games 3 and 4, but I think I went to one of those games. And in game 3 or 4, Flyers were able to tie the series up by getting those 2 wins. Then they go back to Buffalo, and then they lose to Buffalo. Buffalo takes a 3-2 lead in the series. And then the Flyers, I think they lost that series in 6 games. They got absolutely beaten up in the last game. I remember it was Radovich who got the only goal for the Flyers in that game. It was like a 7-2 victory by the Sabres, or 7-1 victory by Buffalo. And that was about it for the Flyers. It was a very depressing off-season. I remember my first time going on to MySpace and just seeing so many Flyers fans just at a loss for words over what happened. I was at a loss for words too. Many months after that, I ended up getting really, really sick. I had this hacking cough, and I didn't want to go to the hospital for a couple of days. My dad, mom, and dad decided, you're going to the hospital. We don't want this to escalate anything worse. So they took me to the hospital. It was kind of like summer pneumonia, and it really sucked. I had to stay in a lot, and until I felt better, and then I starting to feel better. I think around July. I think this happened in July. This is like weeks before I went down the shore. So I remember just having a summer pneumonia type thing. It wasn't that bad though, but when you get a cold in the summer, it's probably the worst thing that could ever happen to you, because summer colds are very hard to get rid of. So they put me on some antibiotics. I had to put the antibiotics into Rice Krispies and eat it. So it was kind of strange for me. I just remember staying indoors playing The Godfather for Xbox. That's what I remember about that. I ended up feeling much better. This was also the year I started getting into YouTube. And I started watching a lot of old WCW stuff on YouTube, and a lot of old commercials on YouTube as well. Well, that started till a year after, but and then we went down the shore. I remember that. And this is the first year I had MySpace. Posted my first picture on MySpace, and it was a good time down the shore. I remember just hanging out with my nephew, playing Kingdom Hearts 2 with my nephew, and it was just a pretty fun time down the shore. And then we go into August, and I start hanging around the local deli. Start hanging out with my friend Marissa a lot. And also my friend Brendan, who used to work around there. I don't know what happened to Brendan. I think he's a newscaster. A newscaster or something. But I wish him luck whatever he's doing. He seems like a good guy, a good dude. Brendan's a good dude. And Marissa's doing pretty well now. She's got a kid now. Pretty awesome shape. Me and her have been friends for a long time, and I really hope she's doing well. And so, I spent my summer hanging out with her and around the local deli, and then I remember my other friend, Vicky, who came by the deli to visit because she left prior to that. I think she left like months prior to that. She had another job, I think it's like Bed Bath & Beyond or something, I forget. But I remember I got to see her briefly, so it was a good visit. Got to see her for a couple of days again, and summer of 06 is pretty cool. And then we go into the summer of 07. You've probably seen that video already, but before I talk about this flyer season, it's probably the worst flyer season ever. I'm not really going to get into that because most likely I will be talking about the summer of 2007. So, summer of 2007, I will be talking about that in my next video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just remember, no matter what, you gotta be careful, and especially if you get sick of it. If you get sick of the summer, you get a cold or something, go right to the hospital. Don't be like me and wait, because that's exactly what I did. I waited. So next video, I might tell you the time. Did I hurt my femur? Or I might tell you the summer of 07. So that might be my next video, so stay tuned for that, folks. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining me in the Orange and Black Recap. And remember, folks, if you're ever not feeling well, go to the hospital. Don't wait. Go to the hospital if there's something wrong. Go right to the hospital. They'll help you and they'll fix you right up there. They're good people there and they care.